Welcome in. It is day 197, and you're speaking to the Meeples Champion. And today we're going to be talking about a game that is a word game. I tend to like those games. You know that I've gone over games like Hardcover in the past. I obviously haven't gotten to it yet, but I'm a big fan of Scrabble. And I like to find the occasional word game. I'm good at spelling, at thinking of obscure words. Those are fun games for me. This game is a little outside my norm, but I wanted to try it out, see what it was like, and give you guys a review. The game is Wordsmith. Now, the idea is you have these 8 different colored die. So multicolored die. You roll them at the start of the game, and then everybody picks pieces that are the same color as the dice. That's going to give you your starting 8 pieces. You all have the same ones. Then you're basically going to be in charge of using these pieces to try to spell words. And the idea is that you're going to be given challenges. You might have to get 6 words, and you basically have to spell something out in so much time, and then you're going to be able to move on. And you basically have to complete these different challenges to be allowed to get better words to eventually see who ends up winning and getting the victory. It's fine. It's not a bad game. I see the concept they're going for. The thing I didn't really like about the game, I feel that it really suffers from 2 things. One is I do not think this is really intended for adults. It's not a word game like Hardback or Scrabble, where at least you can compete. It feels different every time. This game is, I think, more intended for kids who are really learning how to spell and learning how to properly draw, as you have to do a very specific letter setup. You can't just use these and make the letter A. You have to make sure that you have the 2 same pieces that make the long side of the A and the right little piece that makes the center of the A. You can't use a long over those to go it over the sides. You can't use a curve. So I like that. It's great for teaching a kid. But that also means you're very constricted in your options, and that at the end of the day, this game has very little replayability, because what are you supposed to do when you've played this 2 or 3 times and now you know how all the pieces make all the letters and it's that quick for you? Now it's just we all can do the same thing, but who's the fastest? I don't like that, but I don't think that this game has nothing to give. I think there's merit to it in places. So why don't we go through our 7 categories and see where we really land on this? When it comes to the art, the box doesn't sell me. This is one of those games that a friend in my group gave to me. It was fine. I was happy to put it on the shelf and eventually get to it, which I did. But the box never grabbed my interest. The center's a little better. I think the inside of the box, their design, their pieces, it's a little better. But it still doesn't sell the game. It's okay. So it has to be a thumbs down. Components. I mean, your components are the tray, which is really nice, your pieces, which are being used to make the letters, which is a nice plastic, and your dice. I think the components, I don't feel like they put a lot of money into these, but I think they put enough. They're not cheap. So I'll give them a thumbs up. Your price. So this is one of those games that I've said before, you're not going to find this in a regular board game store. I doubt you're going to find it at Target. Maybe you'll find it in Barnes & Noble, but I feel like Target and Barnes & Noble have brought their game up on their basic games. I just don't feel like you'll find it there. Maybe a Walmart. This might be one of those Walmart finds. Beyond that, to me, it's just not very available. And while I don't think it would be extremely pricey, it's also not a game I think is worth your time to go looking for and hunting down. So for me, between the availability and the rough estimate of that price and the game you're getting for it, it's not enough there. It's got to be a thumbs down. Your difficulty. So that difficulty for me is all about if you're a kid or not. If you are bringing in younger kids who are just learning really how to write their lettering, so this isn't even for that average of the 10-year-olds really. Really, this is that 7, 8-year-old area. This will be a great game for parents to buy their kids and have a little game to help them designing the letters. I think that's fantastic. And if that's what you're using this for, awesome. The person who made this game, if they were smart, would have been targeting schools and school supplies and those things that sell stuff to the parents through the schools, because that's what this should be used for. And I think that's a great use of it. But when it comes to that difficulty outside of there, I think when you get to 10 years old and older, this game is not something that's more than a one-time play. And it's just not difficult enough. It's got to be a thumbs down. You take that difficulty, you go right into replayability. And the replayability is, again, you're not going to replay this. You play it once. Maybe you think the game's a great design, but once you played it 2 or 3 times, and with the same people who played it 2 or 3 times, you start to realize you all know exactly what to do. There's no challenge. And if there's no challenge, what's the point of playing the game? Got to be a thumbs down. Keys to victory. So, I mean, obviously, the keys to victory are all about being able to get the pieces and design your words. But since you all start with the same pieces, I just don't see really where those keys to victory come in as having a lot of option. To me, it just doesn't feel like there's enough there to sustain this game. It's got to be a thumbs down. Unique. I will say that I haven't seen a game where you're legitimately building out the letters. I think that that's a unique idea. I wish they had taken that and they had really dove deeper on it and found a way to make this a lot bigger than it is. You look at a game like Hardback that I mentioned and how it's a deck builder. Had they done something with this about earning the pieces and having way more pieces and having the ability to do way more than just making words, or if you want to keep it only to words, making it so that there's a challenge of like teaming up with your neighbors and doing some kind of like a maybe a rhyming setup or making a sentence, something like that. If they'd given an extra challenge, it would have been great. But I'll give it credit for that piece. I do not know another game that actually has the pieces being made to make letters, and you need multiple things to make each letter. That's a unique factor, so I'll give it the unique. Overall, what do I think? Again, for a school for young kids or for a parent with young kids, it would be a great teaching game. Help them on their way. Beyond that, I don't recommend. And if somebody is interested in this and they're not of that age, that's great. But I don't feel it's going to match up with you. And my recommendation would be go find another game like Softback, Hardback, Scrabble. There's plenty of other games, but anagrams. I just don't think this fits. Well, it has been day 197, and we've been speaking about the game Wordsmiths. And you've been speaking to the Meeples champion. Like, share, subscribe, and if I can find this on Amazon, I'll be putting the link down below in the description. Until next time, I'll talk to you tomorrow.